Welcome to another episode of Book Covers DIY. I'm your host, Red, and I'm really excited about today's tutorial because I'm going to be teaching you how to make a horror book cover. And once again, we are going to be using Canva to make our design. This is a free design software that anyone can use. So you'll just join up and log in. As you can see, I'm already logged in and I'm on my home screen. Let's go ahead and select book cover. You can either select it from the home screen, or if it does not appear there, just type it in the search bar. As you can see, we have all of these pre-made templates. We can select one and customize it as we did in our very first episode. If you go under theme, click on view more. Okay, let's just check here to see if they have a horror option. I do see thriller. There's a Halloween. Let's go ahead and just click on that to see. Yes, I figured if we clicked on Halloween, we would get horror. Yeah, I don't see horror in our filter selections, but if you click on Halloween, you will get some options here. And you can see these all look like horror books. They're mostly black and white with red text on them or white. Today we're going to be designing something very similar to these options. If you don't want to start from square one, you can select one of these and customize it with your own, image and font and everything. But we are going to go ahead and start with a blank book cover. So we're going to click on that selection. So now we're taken to the design studio. This area here is our canvas with our book cover. And this area over here is our toolbox. So you can see we have our templates here. If you do decide you want to come back and choose a pre-made template, you do have the option of doing that. We have elements, photos, our text, backgrounds, logos, and this is where we would upload a photo. But before we upload a photo, we have to find one. So we are going to go over to this royalty-free website called Pixabay. All right, so here we are on pixabay.com. Let's go to our search bar and let's just type in horror. Let's just type that in and see what we get. Another thing, you can see here that some of these are photos and some of these are illustrations or vector images like this. We want to filter those out. We want to stick with just photos. So we are going to come up here to our results where it says horror, and we are going to select photos. See, there's vector graphics and illustrations. We don't want that. So we want to stick with just photos. So click on photos. On Pixabay, there are some images that may not be appropriate for younger ages. So just so you know, if you have kids in the area or in the same room as you, make sure to select that safe search box to filter out any inappropriate images. All right, so let's go back to our search. Let's see, here's one with like aliens. This kind of reminds me of like Psycho. All right, don't see anything that really jumps out at me. So let's go to next page. All right, and again, the next page, you want to ignore that first row. And let's keep looking. And look, right here, you see this is It the Clown. Don't ever select anything that you know is, a licensed property or something that is trademarked or branded. You might find that in the results. Do not select anything like that because you will have a lot of problems. Okay, I think I really like this one. Okay, yeah, this is really creepy. Let's go with this. Okay, so I clicked on the picture that I wanted, and then I'm just going to click on free download. Click download. And it's already downloaded right here. Let's go back to Canva with our book cover design. All right, we are going to go to our toolbox and we are going to click on uploads. And we are going to click on upload media. And now you should find the image in your downloads unless you selected another location to save it to. I'm going to click on the image and open. And now it's going to load right here. Right now it is uploaded into our toolbox. Let's click on the image and it appears over here on our canvas. Okay, so let's go ahead and stretch out our image. I really like that it has this sort of blank area for the bottom. I'm really thinking that's going to be great spot to put our title. Right, I stretched it out. Now I'm going to center it. Remember the center guidelines appear. See, and so when you have the crisscross guidelines, that shows you that it is perfectly centered on your book cover. All right, I'm going to click off to the side of the canvas, and you can see it has been placed. Last episode we made 2 designs. I think we're going to do that again today. We're going to go to the upper right of the image, and it says duplicate page. I'm going to click on that, and it makes a second, copy here. We will work with that in a little bit. So let's go back and click on page 1. I clicked on the image because I want to do something with this before we get into the, text and things. So make sure you click on your image, and you should see this, I guess it's a teal greenish blue box around it. Now let's click on edit image. Okay, we have a lot of tools we can use here. We are going to go down here and let's click on this duotone and see all. And so you have a lot of options in here. If you wanted to make it, red, that's pretty creepy too. That would be a great book cover. Always, red, black, and white are, typically you find those in horror book covers. You can select one of these, or you can just go back to none. And I went back, and there's also another option called photogenic. Let's click on see all. And you have a lot of options in here. There is fresco, let's see, capri, kind of darkens it. Let's look at these vintage ones. There's a retro, is pretty cool. A fade. There's a classic down here. Film. I think I like this slate. It's got like a lot of silver in it. Kind of reminds me of the old classic films. All right, so let's stick with that slate. You can also click on the controls and you can change the intensity. I'm going to leave it on a 1 and apply. Right now, if you wanted to, you could go into these controls and adjust it, the brightness, make it brighter, see it gets a little bit more faded, increase the contrast if you want it darker or less. Let's add a vignette to it, which we did on our last episode. I'm going to go ahead and put this one at maybe 50 for vignette. Okay, so on this one, the only thing I changed was the vignette to 50. Now let's go back. Okay, now let's go ahead and add some text to this book cover. So we are going to go to our toolbox and click on text. It's going to bring up some pre-made options. Now remember, everything that has a crown is with the Pro version. So these would need to be paid for, or you would have to have the Pro version. But if you use the affiliate link I have included down below in the description box, you will get the Canva Pro version free for 30 days. And so you will have access to anything with the crown in the corner. So be sure and take advantage of that. Now we are going to just design our own. So we are going to click up here on the very first option, the heading option. As you can see, we have heading, subheading, and body text. We want to click on add a heading, and you can see on our canvas, a text box appears. We are going to delete those words and come up with a name for our book. Okay, okay, it's showing up in black. The text is showing up in black, so you may not see it. So I think I'm going to call this Don't Let Them In. You know, there's that movie called, like, isn't it Let Me In or something like that. So I think I'm going to call this Don't Let Them In. Let's go ahead and change this because you can't really see it. So I'm going to double click in the text box and come up here to this A, and you see it says text color. There's sort of a rainbow beneath it. Click on that. And now we have our color options. For right now, I'm just going to click down here, default color. I'm going to click on white just so that we can see it. And then I'm going to click off to the side of our canvas and bring down our text box. Now I think I'm going to, let's delete don't, because I want to put that in a different font. So now we have just let them in. Now we need to select a font. So again, double click in your text box and come up here to our font choices. When you click on the little down caret, you'll get all of your options here. Okay, right now it is on Open Sans Extra Bold. So now let's find a font that gives us sort of the horror vibe. So like there's something like this blueberry. It's a little bit cartoony for me. And so just scroll down and just start clicking on different selections to see if there's one you like. Once again, everything without the crown, like this, is free. Everything with the crown is with the Pro version. But again, if you use my affiliate link, you have access to everything with the crown for 30 days. All right, that looks pretty cool. Let's just keep looking. You can always go and look at books. Like I have a lot of Stephen King books, so I can look there to kind of see what kind of font they use for the book covers, or you can look on Amazon at some horror books, or, you know, next time you're at the bookstore or Walmart or Target, just stroll through the book aisle. Not only just looking, but snap some photos on your phone so you can have, you know, a reference when you're designing your book covers. This one's pretty cool. This kind of reminds me of the old like black and white B movies. Okay, I think I like this one. This one's called Sunday. Okay, as you can see, it's too big for our book cover design. So you can either grab the corner of your text box and drag it in, and that will make it smaller, or you can come over here to the drop down for your font size, and you can just select any one of these numbers, or you can increase the size. Let's try it at 134 for right now. And you can always check to make sure it's centered when you see the guideline there. All right, so right now I'm going to leave that let them in just plain white. But I want to write don't, but I want to do that in a different font. This one is a Pro version, but I'm going to go ahead and use it. Okay, now you can see it has, I'll show you, there's two text boxes. There's one there for stay, and then when I click on fearless, there's a second one, but they are both inside this dotted line box. Okay, so that means that they made two text boxes and then they grouped them together, but you can easily ungroup them. So I'm going to go over here to the upper right corner, and you can see right here it says ungroup. When I click on ungroup, now you see there's two text boxes. Let me click off to the side just for a second. And then when I click back on them, see the dotted line is gone. That was a grouping box. So now we have two separate text boxes. So anytime you use one of these and it has multiple text boxes, but you don't want them all, just click that ungroup and it will separate them, and then you can delete the ones you don't need. So I'm going to delete Fearless. I don't need that one. I'm just going to click on Fearless and then the little trash can right here. So now I have just stay. I'm going to click in there and type don't. Another thing, I can tell that this don't has like a shadow or something on it. So I'm going to click up here on effects. Okay, it doesn't have a shadow. It actually has, see this purple box? It has an echo on it. It's written twice, one on top of the other. Let's see what happens when we change the color. Okay, so there we turned it to black. Let's see what happens when we turn it to white. Okay, I like that. Do you see this? It's called an echo. It turned to white. Let me make it larger so you can see. I'll click on it again. You can see this is how it looks black. This is how it looks red. But I like it with the white. So I'm going to keep it white so it'll stand out. Bring it back down here. I might make this a little bit smaller. I'm just going to drag it in some, bring it down. Now I do want to add a little bit more to our photo. So let's go to our toolbox and click on Elements. And we're going to have a lot of options show up here. I'm going to type in, let's type in blood. All right, So here are all our blood results. Up here in our search box, you'll see some filter controls. Click on that. We want to make sure that we only get static images. We don't want any animated images. And then if you are using the free version, you can click on free and it'll filter out any of the images that will have to be paid for. Since I have the pro version, I'm going to unclick that. That way I can see all results. I'm going to apply filters. All right, so now you can see it took out anything that was moving, anything that was animated. I want to add some blood to this cover photo. So let's just scroll down and okay, I think I like these drips. I'm going to add these drips here. So I clicked on them, they appeared on my canvas. I'm going to drag them up to the corner. Okay, yeah, I like the way that they're kind of just coming down from the top of the window. Place them right about there. Okay, I want to do the same thing on this side. So let me show you how to do that. While you have your box around it, we're going to click right here. This is just, duplicate or copy. And so now a second one appeared, but it's the same. I want to flip it because I want to have the larger drip on the outside, on this side. So come over here to flip, and we want to flip it horizontally. So just click on that first option. And you can see it turned around. And so now we have the larger drip on the outside. I'm going to drag it right here. Now, if you notice on the screen, you'll see there are dotted guidelines that lets you know that you've lined up with the other one on the other side. That's really helpful because look, if I bring it down, it's uneven. If I bring it up too high, but when they are perfectly even, you'll see the dotted guidelines appear. So I'm going to place that one there. Okay. That's looking great so far. Now you can also do things with the drips, like you can click on that, edit image, you can do one of those filters. You can actually change them if you wanted to change them to like, trying to find one, like see this one's just black drips. There's different options. I'm going to put on none. I don't want to use any of those. I like it red, especially with the red in the font. Now I want to show you something else. When I chose my selection here, which by the way, this was a pro option. Anytime you choose something, there are these magic recommendations will appear, which means that Canva will automatically find you similar choices. I can look over at the magic recommendations and click see all. I definitely don't want these, but these top ones, okay, I think I like, it might be hard to see, this center option right here. Okay, this is perfect for the center of the window. So you can see this has two shorter drops and some like little blood spurts. Let me raise this up. We want to have it like if it's dripping from above. Okay, and so I didn't even have to search for this. The magic recommendations recommended it for me. And they match it exactly, but they are different. So I'm going to click off of those. Okay, this is looking like a very creepy book cover, which is exactly what we're going for. Now, one thing I noticed is that I think this red is too bright. I want it a little bit darker, like these blood drips. So let's click on don't. And then we're going to click up here on our font color, our text color. Okay. So we have, this is the red that it is right now. It is this bright red. Then we have options down here. Now let me show you something else Canva does for you. See photo colors? It takes the photo and it automatically selects the colors that are used in it. So if you needed to match anything with the photo, you already have these colors down here. But we want to match it with the blood. And I don't see that darker red option, but we still can find it. So what we need to do is click on add a new color. It's a sort of empty rainbow box with a plus. And this is where it currently is set at. Let's click on the eyedropper tool. It says pick a color from the design. and we have this grid here. Looks like a little waffle. And as you drag it over your picture, you can see how it changes with whatever is behind it. Let's go over to our blood. Now, if you notice, our blood has like this really dark burgundy and then some brighter. I kind of want to go for the in between. And so you see when I clicked on that, don't change to the really darker shade. Now I think that is too dark because it makes it a little bit difficult to read. So we can either go back to our eyedropper tool and try to put it over the lighter. So you can see almost there's like 3 reds in there. Okay, so it changed some, or you can just come over here and drag this little dot to where you want it. So I think I'm going to do that. I kind of like this color right here. So you can see this is what I'm choosing now, and this is what it was before. So you can see that it's a much deeper red than they had before. This was almost like an orangey red, and this is more of a darker, deeper red. So I like that shade there. All right, now we need to add another text box for our author name. So let's go over to our toolbox and click on text. This time I'm going to click on subheading since we want a smaller font. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this white so you can see it. I'm just going to turn it white. I clicked on the text color and chose white. Okay, now let's think of a name. So I'm going to backspace, and instead of Stephen King, let's write Thomas Keane. All right, so this is our author name. Let's drag this down and let's select a font for it. So I'm going to double click in the text box, and just like we did earlier, we're going to go to the drop down and just search for a font we like. Oh, actually, I think I like this one, Lavello. I like this one because it kind of gives these sharp points on the top of the M and the N, kind of like reminds me of like a knife or something like that, which is great for a horror book. I think this font is too large. Let's see, let's go down to, let's try 56. Okay, 56 is a good size. You know what? I think I'm going to switch. We have this white. I like this white. I think I'm going to switch the 2 colors. So let's click on Let Them In and text color. Now it already saved the color we used a little bit earlier right here. So let's go ahead and click on that red. Let's see how that looks. Click off your canvas. Okay, yeah, I definitely like this red for the Let Them In. Okay, now let's go to Don't. Double click on there, click on text color. Let's switch that to white. But remember we have this white like echo on it. Double click on it. Let's go to effects and see that echo is still active on it. Let's change that effect color, the echo color, to, let's try it red. And click off to the side of our canvas. Can you see it? We might need to make it a little bit brighter red. Let's go back in there. Maybe we do need to make it in that bright red it had earlier. Nope, oops, wrong thing. If you ever make a mistake like that, all you have to do is go up here and click undo. Okay, so it went back to white. Because I didn't mean to change the font color. I want to change the echo color. So I'm going to go to effects and then echo, and then this is the one I need to change. Here's that brighter red. Okay, now you can see it. Okay, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Okay, so we can make this Let Them In. Let's see what happens if we make it slightly larger. Let's try 144. Okay, that's better. Let's bring that up for a second. I want to bring this to the center of the sort of the black rectangle here. I want to center this. And then now let's put the don't right above, almost touching. And let's bring up our Thomas Keane. And so you can see it centered. Okay, I think that looks like a great horror book cover design. I'm really happy with it. You see how easy that was and how fast we put it together. Okay, I think we're done with this one. So let's go ahead and work on our second cover. It's just a variation of this one so that you have two options to show to your followers. And this is a great way to have them interact by letting them vote for, cover A or cover B. You can always show this on your, Facebook, or create a poll or Instagram and have your readers help you vote on your final book cover. All right, so remember, this is page 1. We're going to leave that one alone, and now we're going to scroll down to page 2. And on this one so far, all we have is our free image from Pixabay. I'm going to use the same image. You can actually go in there and try to find something different if you want. I'm just going to use the same one, but what I'm going to do is I've clicked on it, so we have our teal box up here, but I still can't like move it around or nothing, see? So you'll have to double click, and now you have the little dots in the corners appear, the white dots, so now we can actually stretch it out again. I want to stretch this so that the kid takes up the whole book cover. See, I don't want to have any of this black showing. And then I want to center him. He looks pretty centered there. I'm going to click off to the side and it should place it. Okay, so now it's placed. Now I do want to add something to this image, because on this image, well, this one, we made it more of a silver gray. You can see the window panes, and you can kind of see almost like, a little bit of his eye sockets and things like that. This one, I want it to be more of a silhouette. Since we've zoomed in on this, I want this one to be more of just like a really dark silhouette. So let's click on the image, and we have our teal box around it. Click on edit image. Now let's go to this photogenic again, see all, and let's find something that makes it just really like, see how this is dark, but that one's, greenish background. I don't want a greenish background, but see how the face blended in with the window panes? I want something like that, but not the green. So let's go over here. Okay, I think this one is going to work. Noir. Okay, I think I like that one. There's a newspaper. That's still a little bit more gray. It's kind of got some purple in it. I don't want that. I like this noir. Okay, so you can see now the difference. This one you can see some of the face, and you can see the window pane, and this one is just completely dark. I really like this. Okay, so we're going to apply. Now, if you wanted to, you can still adjust that even more. If you click on adjust, you can increase the contrast, which makes it lighter and darker. See, I might actually raise it to maybe, let's try a 10. Let's go over to the vignette and see if we want to do that again. See how the sides, look at the corners, they get darker. Let's do that again at 50. Okay, so on this one, we changed the vignette to 50, and we changed the contrast. We just increased it slightly to a 10 just to blend in the window pane with the head. Now we can go back. All right, now let's add some blood. Okay, so I clicked off to the side of my canvas. We're going to go back to elements. And we do have the magic recommendations here. We don't need those anymore. So let's click the X. Okay, and we still have our blood here already in the results, and we still have our filter set to static images, nothing animated. So, we don't even have to type anything in the search box because we still have our previous searches there. Let's look for, okay, I think I already have an idea, but let me see what else there is. Okay, let's go back up to the top. I'm going to add handprint. So I'm going to click on this hand, this bloody handprint, and you see it appears over here on my canvas. I'm going to grab the corner and shrink it down. Let's drag it over. That's about the size of the kid's hand. Actually, I'll make it a little bit bigger because I want it to be a little bit more visible. So it's okay if it's slightly larger than the child's hand. Okay, now you can see that it doesn't line up because the hand is at an angle. So all you have to do is click on the image, and you can see this pivot control down here. Just click on that and you can just pivot it in the direction you like. Okay, I'm going to pivot it there and kind of bring it over. Click off to the side. Okay, now I need one for this hand, but I don't see one going the opposite direction. So easy thing to do is just like we did for the blood drips on the previous book cover. You click on the image and we're going to copy or duplicate the image. See a second one appears. Let's drag it over to this hand. Let's go ahead and pivot it straight up and down, just so you can see what's going to happen. Then we're going to come up to the upper left side and we're going to click flip. We want to flip it horizontally, and you can see it flipped so that the thumb is inward. We're going to grab our pivot again and pivot it in the direction of the hand and just move it wherever we want it. Let's click off to the side. Okay, you can see that's already looking really great and creepy. Okay, we can either go back into our text and add all our text boxes and everything, but something you can do much easier is you can just come up to your first book cover, click on the text box you want, duplicate it, and then drag it down here. So we don't even have to bother with making a whole new text box and choosing the font and all that. Slightly increase that. Let's go back. Now let's choose the don't. Duplicate that. Bring it down. And Thomas Keane, the author name. Duplicate that. Bring it down. Okay, on this one, I want to emphasize the don't. Drag this corner. And this time, I think I want to center this. And let's raise that. Let them in. And then on this one, we definitely need to increase the size of the author name. Let's choose a different font for this author name. I like this one, Horizon, but now you see it's too wide. We want to make sure that it stays all in the black. So let's go over to our drop down to there. Let me click off to the side. Okay. I feel like it needs one more thing. Like it's just not. Okay, I got an idea. Let's go back to elements. Let's click the X on magic recommendations. We're still in our blood. Let's look for some. We have some, the splatters up there. I want to look for something. It's missing something down here. So let me find something we can use. Maybe some sort of blood splatter. Oh, I like this. Okay, this right here. Click on that. Okay. Now I'm going to show you that when you look at the images, you don't always have to use them just as they are. So this is definitely too much. It's going to cover up the words and everything. But I don't want to use this, the bulk of this red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it down. Now you could do that. You could change your font to like black and things like that so that you can see this, let them in. But actually I don't want to use any of this bright red. So I'm just going to drag this image all the way down so that only the very bottom of this blood splatter is showing. Okay, let me click off to the side and see how that looks. Okay, I'm liking that. This red is too bright on this image. So let's click on the image. And you can see when we clicked on the image, this little red box appeared showing us the color. But remember, we have been using this darker red for the font. So let's click on that because we want it to match. Okay, and you see it changed to the darker red. So now this red matches the font and matches the hands. Okay, this is what we were missing. Something to kind of just even it out. Okay, I'm really liking the way this looks. I think we are done with our 2 horror book covers. I don't see anything else I would need to add to them. All right, so let's go ahead and download these two versions. So if you ever need to change the name, you can go right here. See, it already says don't let them in. I will add book covers, and it automatically saves your book covers as you work on them. But if you ever wanted to save, you click on File, and here's the save, but it says all changes saved. This also tells you the dimensions if you ever needed to know. Okay, so now let me show you how to download these book covers. We are going to come over here to Share, and we are going to go down to Download, and it defaults to PDF standard. For ebooks, you need JPEG, so let's go to the drop down, choose JPEG, and select pages. We are on all pages 2 because we want to download both of them. If for some reason you only wanted to download, page 1 or page 2, you would select one or the other. See how it changed? But we are going to select all pages, and done. All right, now you're just going to have to click on download, and you can see the download bar. In the meantime, if you wanted to share your designs with anyone, you can click copy, and this link you can share through text or email, and with your family and friends, and say, hey, here's my 2 book covers, which one do you like? Or you could send it to your email list. So let's actually see how that looks. So let me go and just to another tab. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so I pasted that link, and it just took us to this page where it shows our 2 designs. So there is design number 1, and if we click the arrow, there's design number 2. You can send this to your email list and just tell them, did you like, option A or B, or option 1 or 2, and have them vote. Okay, and you can see we have the little confetti, means that it's all downloaded. Okay, now let's go to our Finder, and you want to make sure you're in downloads. Okay, now since there were 2 designs, it's going to be a zip file. You will double click the zip file, and it will deposit them in a folder. You can click on the folder, and here is our first design, and here is our second design. Okay, let's put those side by side. And so here you can see your 2 JPEG images, and I think they came out great, and I think I'm partial to this more modern design. But let me know in the comments which version you liked best. This first one that has sort of a vintage look feel to it, or a classic movie feel, or this more modern design. Let me know in the comments section below which one you prefer. In the meantime, make sure and take advantage of that free 30-day Canva Pro. My affiliate link is in the description box below. And also, please check out bookcoversdiy.com. This is where I post all of our video tutorials. I also have a lot of tips and tricks on not only book cover design, but writing as well. So be sure and check that out, bookcoversdiy.com. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more book cover design tutorials. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.